$25. That's pretty much the gist of it.
What do they need?
We're new, so is there anything you would tell newbies?
Well,
Ma'am?
They're new,
they're
so they
new,
were
so-
last year, so is there anything you would like stress?
What do they
Um,
need to show up at the fair with?
You need to have the stuff to maintain your animal while you're at the fair. Clean out the pens. Most people bring wheelbarrows. You do need a board for your pen. The pens.
Speaking of board, we would just love it if you would take your board home when you go.
We would prefer you to bring the board for setup. That way, for weigh-in, when you're coming in, you don't have to be trying to set up a pen while we're still weighing pigs in, getting them loaded in. If the boards are already there, the pigs will just be put in the pen, and then you can come in after weigh-in to set your pen up.
And
The water.
the water directions are
Over here.
online. The water.
How to build a water.
How to build one of those is online on the website.
How many boards we need?
Here's Scott. That's right.
Just
One for every pig.
That's Scott.
2 by 8?
The pins, the older pins are 4x4, 48 by 48 inch. The new pins are 44, 42.
I think you're safe if you make it 45 by 45.
Yes, a 48 by
Will work
48
for
will
either
not.
either the new pins or the old pins. So
We're gonna be using old pins?
hopefully not.
We may
Shouldn't
have
have
to
to,
use
but-
some
139 pigs.
tagged in. Okay.
Fingers crossed they all make it.
So he said 45 by 45.
Yeah.
It'll fit.
That just keeps
Some
them
people
from
might not wanna use them.
Did y'all get a record book at the or a rule book at the?
We have plenty of
Some
rule
in that
books.
box behind you, Kevin.
Already turned to swine for you right there.
Scott, you got more?
Yeah, I was just making a little list for them since they're new. Wide So in the pig barn, you'll probably see me a lot. In the mornings and the afternoons, we'll require all the animals to be fed, pens cleaned. But now during the shows, we have to have the back of the barn emptied. So if there's a beef show going, dairy show going, you have to check your schedule. We have to feed and clean in between those times. We'll have a wash rack set up. So as far as cleaning the pigs, it's soap and water only. All right. So there'll be a sign-in sheet. So, and if there's a problem with the animal's pen, I will be probably the one contacting you. We just ask that you put a contact number on your card that hangs above the pen that when I call, somebody answers. So be it the pig's sick, we got a broken water, something's leaking, we can, move the animal, whatever, we can get on with somebody. All right? So we tagged 139, we'll probably have around 130 at the fair. Somewhere in that edition. Yes, Ms. Keenan?
In the back.
Just, if you could just reiterate, please, the rules that only exhibitors will be allowed in the pig barn
During
class
shows.
Now, once we get to a
whether the
show,
class has gone or not.
right, once we get to a show, because we'll have 130 kids, you times that by 2 parents, grandma, grandpa, and that's trying to move that many animals and stage them for a show. Once the shows start, we require everybody out except for the people helping with the show. At the end of those shows, then we'll allow the parents and grandparents and everybody back in. That's just a safety issue. We don't want to pick somebody up like we did a couple years ago and have one ride from one end to the other and then crash. Right, we broke a hip, so we just
Every rule's there for a reason.
we don't. So we do. I know for the young ones that are just starting showing, a lot of parents are scared about leaving them by themselves. Every one of us are parents, so they'll be fine. We promise. We won't let them get in the way or get hurt or they have issues or something. It'll be fine.
The kids that have been there and done it several times don't need as much help. The little kids, we mind a lot. We pay attention to them. We keep our eye on them so we know what's going on with them, helping them out.
And so did the bigger kids. They're
Yes, the
really
other
cool.
kids actually help out a lot too, the older kids. Other than that, read the rule book. Rule book, rule book, rule book. Anything else, guys?
If you clip your pig, a lot of people clip their pig, make sure you do not clip it shorter than a half inch. Because the processor, if you clip it shorter than a half inch, cannot use a dehair, they have to scald them, they charge the kid for that, $50 a pig. This is cool.
It provides the, no clipping under the barn with the better power clippers.
Yes, we would prefer they be clipped beforehand. If you may need some minor touch up with some scissors or something like that, but we don't wanna have 130 people clipping pigs under the barn, still got limited plug-ins. That is for sure.
If I'm mistaken, we just ruled that no clipping pig.
Yeah, we did,
Yeah.
we ruled it, but.
Your animal should be ready to go when you get here, short of just washing it. You in a hurry? That's, unless there's any questions, that's pretty much. Anybody? We're good?
Yeah.
He's making a list for somebody.
B, Felix, and Amy.
Hello, everybody. My name's Felix. I'm the beef chair.
I'm Amy Worley. I'm the super chair.
How many new beef exhibitors we have this year? One?
One? Yeah.
Two? All right, there's pretty simple, you guys. We have a few barn rules we go over every year. Listen to your rules, stress the point, read your rule books. Read it, and read it, so you don't miss nothing out.
Stanley.
Let me see.
I made that same
You
mistake
know,
too.
we try to make this thing go as smooth as possible and everybody get along and have a good time, so you need any help, just holler at us, we'll be there for you. Any questions, holler at us, come find us, we'll answer your questions. Other than that, enjoy yourself, have a good time. Amy's got probably a few things she wants to run by y'all, and then we'll take your questions. I know you got one.
Okay, as far as inspectors, when you get there, it's gonna be a little different than last year. When you come through the gate, he's not gonna be at the gate, he's gonna be where you unload. Steers he's gonna be at the scales. Heifers, he's gonna be at the back gate where you unload by the barn. If you have animals other than steers, so bulls and heifers, if they're 18 months or older, they need to have your premise ID tags in, or you will not be able to show. So, when you get your health cert from your vet, and it's 16 months or whatever, because they're 90 days, remember that. So if your animal's gonna be 18 months old at our fair, it needs to have that premise ID tag in its ear. This year, we do have a bred and owned bull show. Also, because last year was confusion, if we have less than 10 entries on the mature cows or bulls, we do not award grand or reserve. They'll be placed 1 through however many we have, and they still get all around points, but we just don't do grand or reserve, so everybody understands that. Also with the trailers, there'll be designated areas for parking for trailers. There's no parking behind barn or on the roadway behind the barn. They're all designated parking. Blowers and stuff like that, no blowers or nothing in the barn. Chutes, if you have chutes, there'll be a designated area for chutes. What else? Extension cords, we prefer that they go up and over, where they're not tripping over them. The fans, they're allowed to have fans, but if not in the alleyways. We like to keep the alleyways clean. Same thing, animals,
Yeah, but
I'll just, I know there was a big question about our kids' cat gear and shoe boxes and stuff.
yeah.
I didn't know if that was on the list, I'm sorry.
it is.
I'm sorry.
You know, the tack boxes, the hay, the feed barrels and all that, I know we get some rain sometimes through the years there. We really try not to keep it in the barn so we don't congest the barn. So sometimes we ask you if you take it at the barn and leave it at the barn for everybody, not just one person, kind of everybody. And if we see that it's not working for everybody, we're getting bad weather, we'll let you start bringing some stuff in. For the biggest part though, you guys, we want to keep that stuff out of the barn so it's not a hazard or congested, because we had a lot of stuff going on in that barn. So for the biggest part, we're gonna try to keep the barn as light as we can, as far as wheelbarrows, hay, feed barrels, tack boxes, and blowers, fans, and whatnot you bring. So for the biggest part, we're gonna try to keep the barn as light as we can. So if you have any questions, just come to us and ask us. We'll pretty much let you know.
Also, while the animals are in the barn, they need to have neckties on at all times. That's a safety thing. If we see that they don't have neckties, we'll fine you and tell you that you need to get them on. And keep reminding you that they need to be on, constantly.
Okay. Questions?
Mhm.
So when we, at weigh-in, he got a tag in his left ear, and he had already had a tag in his right ear, but they took that out. But anyway, it got really infected, and we had a vet look at it, and she eventually took the tag out, and it's getting better now, but can it go in the right ear? Does he have to have his tag in his left ear?
The one that they,
The one that they put in at the weigh-in, does it have to, just because it's been in kind of bad shape, and he already has a hole in his, a place in his right ear?
It doesn't have to go in that ear, but we kind of try to keep them all in sync together.
Okay,
You know, all the same ear. That way, if we're looking for numbers, we know which ear to go to, and not have to
okay,
dribble around, try to come head on to them, try to get another ear going.
okay, so possible needs to go back in the left ear?
Yes.
Okay,
So that tag probably can't be put back in, I would imagine, because they probably cut it out, right?
yep,
So we'll need a replacement tag for that one.
okay,
We'll get your number and, we'll make sure that gets fixed.
okay, thank you.
Call Felix.
Is that all you
I
had?
think I talked to you.
The tag?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
So just, really, if you have any questions, just feel free to call us.
The numbers are posted, so if you want to take a picture of it, that's all it shares, numbers.
also, dress code, and this goes for anything and everything that you show at the fair. 4-H, FFA, make sure that you read your rule book. Your black jeans, white shirt, collared. For 4-H, it needs to be the green tie. The 4-H jacket is optional, and it needs to be closed-toe shoes. FFA, it's black jeans, the dress shirt, the FFA jacket. It's optional. We are a little lax on it because it does get hot in the ring, and we will tell y'all if you are allowed to wear it or not. But you have to have the color tie, the FFA color tie, and closed-toe shoes. If you do not, if you're not in those dress attires, you will get a white ribbon, no matter what your animal looks like, no matter what it is, you will receive a white ribbon,
So,
period.
for your new exhibitors, please really, go over your rule books really well. General rules, committee rules, just go over them really good. Several times we go over them ourselves, and you know, you'll miss something. But if you keep going over them, you'll be fine all year long. Just kind of go over them. And then if you read something that you're really not understanding, call us. We'll straighten it out for you.
Now, the dairy for the dairy show is the dairy dress, the white, that everybody knows, so. But that's it.
Amy has cookie books.
I have my good book.
Any more questions? Get up.
I have her. So, as y'all know, I'm Amy Worley and I have the record books. It's quite simple. All the record books are on the website. You can download them, you can print them, you can type them, fill them out. There are a few rules as far as intermediate and seniors. You have to use a pen or type. Juniors and clover buds, they can use pencil or type them. The record books have to be in a half or a 1-inch binder. There will be 10 points deducted if they come in anything bigger. Also, there has to be a binder cover with the exhibitor's name, age division, and what division you're showing in on the front of the binder. So when we're looking at it and pulling them out, we know what it is for. And that's pretty much it. If you have questions, there's also on the website kind of like a step-for-step how to do your record book. It's helpful. It tells you what we're looking for, what we want.
I would encourage everybody to, with their record books, to document now from when you got your animal through this project. Don't wait till the end to try and remember everything you did or what medicines you gave or, to take pictures at the end. You need to show in your photos, in your record books, the things that you've done throughout this project and the progress that your animal's made from beginning to end, not 15 pictures of them fully matured and 2 pictures of them when you just got them that day.
So prime example, all non-market animals, so that's all breeding animals, rabbits, chickens, everything, started September 1. That's when your record book should start or when you got the animal. Market steer was September 7th, that's when we tagged in. Market swine and goats was November 9th. That's when your record book starts. That's when you start it. So that's your start date. Your finish date for market steer will be March 9th. When we tag in? Wait, 5th or 6th, yes.
It's on that. It's on
important
the
dates.
check-in. There's the
Check-in.
dates are they right? Oh yeah, they're right there on hers. That's Thursday. March the 5th is Thursday.
So March the 5th is the steers' final day, and then the pigs are the 6th.
Yeah.
The
And
hogs
rest of the animals.
and the goats are the 5th too, so. Those are your dates, and then you calculate your numbers from there.
The other thing is for the record books, the club leaders have to sign. And so if you're a club leader or you have a club leader, which everybody does, you need to be checking in with them regarding progress of your record book before you get to the fair. Please. For their sake and ours, who have to grade the record books. So if anybody has any questions, all that stuff is online. And we have a whole committee that comes in to grade that stuff. And some years are very sad. I really want y'all to put some attention to these record books. It's worthwhile to document the things that you do, and it'll be helpful to you and to other members of your club. I mean, y'all talk about it at your club meetings and make sure that everybody understands what they're doing. And if you have any questions, get with us before the last day of the fair when you get ready to come to tag in. Everybody's finishing up their record books an hour before they have to get turned in. Y'all actually take some time and take some pride in these projects, not just with the animal, because this is part of the project, and it's just as important.
And one last thing for beef and goats, instead of waiting on Friday to get your exhibitor packets, the beef will get their exhibitor packets in the barn, and goats will get your exhibitor packets in the yeehaw, where you check in
I think chickens and rabbits will get theirs too,
on Friday.
but in the exhibit hall.
In
They
the
won't have to
exhibit
come
hall.
up to the barn like they did in the
So
past.
that's a little bit of a change than what, instead of waiting on Friday, y'all will get them Thursday.
And record books are due, 4-H record books on Friday, is it at noon?
They, 11:30.
And that'll be in the exhibit hall.
Mhm. And that's it.
I'm Pam Carter, I'm the secretary, and right now my major job is online entries. So I don't know, some of you have already done online entries, some of you have had problems with them. This year, we decided to put our emergency card online, because that's one of the things that's really hard for us to collect. And it's, they get lost, you know, they give them to somebody and somebody's supposed to bring them in and they get, you know, they don't get done. And so that's something that we have to have for safety for our kids at the fair. I have a piece of paper here that's got my name and email address and phone number on it. So if you have any problems, you can call me and leave me a message. I do work a couple days a week, so I'll be able to call you back at night possibly, or the next day, or you can email me if you have problems. The thing that this year, when you go in and do your entry, because we didn't have too much problem last year with breeding animals and all that, doing their online entry, it was pretty successful last year. Most everybody did online entries, which was wonderful. But this year you have to do your emergency card. So when you go in, it'll come to a section about your emergency card. And if you read the directions at the very first and print them out, and make sure, write them down so you know what you gotta do, you're gonna have to go to that website there, which is our county fair website, and print out an emergency card, fill it out, have mom and dad sign it, and then scan it back into your computer, take a picture of it, whatever you need to do. But it has to be in a PDF form to upload it into ShowWorks, which is the program, the online program. So when you get to that part where it says you want to upload your emergency card now, you need to say yes, continue, and it'll let you open up where you can find your file that you have your emergency card saved and upload it. And then you can continue. If you continue without that, you will not be able to put your entry in. You'll put some information in, but when you get to the end, it won't let you pay. And if you print your receipt out, it'll say 0 entries on it. And that means you have not entered any animal or exhibit at the fair. So you don't have an exhibit at the fair. You just put your name in there and your address, and we have that. And I try to track those. I can see where people have saved their cards or have not uploaded the information. And I usually try to get an email to you or call you to make sure that you're not having problems. So my suggestion is don't wait until the last minute, the night of, and entries close on December the 1st at midnight. Okay, and after that, for all beef, dairy, goats, and rabbits, is $25 an animal, okay, late fee. Poultry's $25 an exhibitor. Okay, so that's quite a bit of money if you got 4 cows you want to put in the fair. That's an extra $100. So try to get it done between now and December the 1st so that if you have problems, you can call me, shoot me an email, and I can take care of it for you. So if you have any questions or anything, do that. And I've got some instructions here for you that are also on the website. They're also on ShowWorks, so that you can print those out if you need them. So those are here for you to pick up. Anybody want one now? Everybody else? A lot of you have already done your online entries. So spread the word.
If you need a rule book, we got them up here, feel free to get one. I reckon, hey, John, you got anything you wanna say?
Yeah, just one thing. 2020 is a leap year, and February 29th is the most important day you need to remember. 'Cause that's our setup day. And for anybody that's new or been here before, we need your help here on February the 29th.
Now, there's another date too.
Which is the day after.
The day after the sale, we need help too, to take down. But, like I say, I appreciate y'all coming, and, we do. And, if you have any questions, just feel free to call us, and we thank y'all for coming.
Cindy's.
Oh, Cindy, that's
How
right.
many market animals are here?
Okay.
Okay, so if none of the other exhibitors have any questions, if the market animals will just stay for just a minute, we're gonna go over the sale, just real briefly. But if you wanna leave, those of you that have other exhibits, you're more than welcome. But if you have a market goat, pig, or steer, we'll go over the sale. Anybody else can leave if you want to, or if you wanna stay and listen, that's fine too. So I'm Cindy Sanders, I'm the extension director here and also the livestock agent. And been in this involved with the fair for a few years.
Is there something on there?
Shit, not yet.
Am I missing something?
There it comes.
Turn that light down.
Right behind you, right behind it. Just turn it.
So, all of you that have, I'll turn it all the way, they'll go to sleep. And I
Don't be
can't-
that, don't
I
be
can't-
that, don't be
I can't
that
reach
long.
Chad,
Don't
so-
be that long.
Budget's already.
I can't reach Chad, Tim. So, those of you that have market animals, as you know, the last day of the sale, every animal will sell. Miss Amy said that if you get a white ribbon in the ring, a white ribbon, we're gonna order the animals in the sale based on your placing and your ribbon. If you get a white ribbon, you're probably gonna be on the last page of the sale, because there's not many white ribbons. So make sure you wear your official dress. And then some years we have pig judges that like to give all blue ribbons, and you're not all gonna sell on the first page either, because I gotta divide those blue ribbon pigs throughout the sale. So what happens on sale day is we'll depending on how you placed in your class and your ribbon color, we'll divide them up. We only have 20-some steers, we have 130 pigs. Well, pigs are gonna be spread out evenly. We'll sell about 15 or 18 pigs at a time, then we'll throw in a steer or a goat. Grand and Reserve will sell first of all species. So Grand and Reserve steer, Grand and Reserve pig, Grand and Reserve goat, and then we'll start rotating. So we will post the sale order on Tuesday morning. Those animals will already be sold to a buyer. They will sell them on Monday. If your buyer wants custom kills, the meat, then of course he or she can get that meat. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But on last day of the fair, all animals will be sold at the auction. Each animal goes through individually. We sell them. An auctioneer sells them, and they will be sold individually. Livestock buyers, this is what I'm talking about, will purchase them. What they do is they purchase them the day ahead of time. These committee chairs will sell them on Monday morning and set a resale price. So they're sold, okay? So they're sold at market value. So right now, fat steers are bringing about 85 cents. Pigs are bringing about 35 to 40. Pigs increased slightly because of the issues we've got overseas. So our swine value has increased some. I can't tell you that it'll be 40 cents come fair time, but it's normally about 30 cents. Goats right now are high, $2 a pound or so on market goats. So it just depends on what the market resale price is at that time. A resale price will be set that Monday morning. And you don't really need to worry about that. In your packet that she's talking about when you get to the fair, I will have a resale price in there for record books only. Use that for your record books. That does not mean that's what they're going to sell for on Tuesday. I forgot I have this. Okay, so why do you all need to solicit a buyer? Because you want to hopefully get as much out of that animal as possible, and you want to break even. Certainly want to break even. You want to save some money, hopefully for your project next year, hopefully for college. So you need to get out and get buyers. Everybody in here's got a doctor, a dentist. Some of us have lawyers. Some of us have insurance agents. Everybody should have an insurance agent. And it's not all Farm Bureau. Okay? So visit those people that your parents work with. Whoever your parents work for, visit those people. And it's better if you kids go visit them face to face. It's harder for somebody to tell a kid no than it is if I walked in there, okay? They'd tell me no in a heartbeat. But they will not tell these young kids, okay, if you go in there and solicit. Try to take your record book with you if you've got it finished. If not, take some pictures or something of that animal so that buyer can see it. I can tell you our sale does not tap but that much of Alachua County and the city of Gainesville when it comes to businesses. There are people out there that have never been asked, and that's just it. They've never been asked. So I just encourage you kids to get out there and do that. Exhibitors that are prepared, their animals will hopefully go for a higher price and you put money in the bank. Okay, only 5 buyers will be invoiced. You can have 10, 12 buyers the day of the sale, but only 5 are gonna be invoiced. And Lori, our treasurer's not here, but, so, that you can put together buyers. You parents may wanna go out and gather money, and you've got a wad of checks that day, that's fine. You can make it friends of Susie Q, okay? And that could be your buyer, and you got a stack of buyers. But we want to just invoice 5, just because it becomes a nightmare with 140 animals, 50 animals for sale to invoice individuals, especially when you get invoicing for $25, $30. We have what's called add-ons. No buyer will be billed for less than $100, and we have add-ons. So when it gets down, you got somebody's going to give you $50, $25. That needs to be an add-on, not a buyer. It doesn't go through the sale. It's an add-on, and that's separate. We will have that at the sale that day. We have add-on slips. If you collect a bunch of money, parents, just come get those slips from Lori. We have them in advance here at the office if you want to take them with you and just solicit buyers. And they want to give you $25, $30, $100. You can put that towards an add-on. It'll go in your check just like everything else. Mr. Farr.
You said that a parent can have 10 buyers and have a collection of checks.
Yes?
Are they gonna turn in 10 different checks?
They can.
Okay,
And you call that Friends of Wayne Farr.
that's fine. I
And-
was making sure they knew that they could turn in 10 checks.
And when you sign the receipt, you're liable for the checks.
No,
Right.
no, no.
Yes.
So whoever's doing the bidding on that animal, let's say your buyer can't be there and a parent does the bidding, you sign on that invoice that day of the sale, you are responsible for collecting that money. You are responsible for that. Whoever signs that invoice is responsible.
But they're giving you the check.
You can get a check, make checks out to Alachua County Youth Fair so they get their tax deduction. If you do not make them out to Alachua County Youth Fair and they just make them out to the kid, they do not get a tax deduction. So you want to support the fair? Yes, the fair takes out a 7.5% commission out of the market animals. That's very small compared to some other fairs. I can tell you Fanning Springs takes out about 12.5%, 13%. And that's just to pay the bills. That's for the sand your pigs or animals on. That's for our sawdust, light bill. Insurance is a big one for the fair. So all that goes back into the pot. Pig pens and goat pens, all of that goes right back into the pot. So anyway, that's your commission. Any individual that wants to contribute without being considered a buyer is an add-on. Add-ons are collected that day of the sale. You can do them online. You can do them ahead of the sale. Lori will have it online on that Alachua County Youth Fair. You can add on before it with a credit card, and she'll take it that way. At the sale, she'll take credit card, cash, or check for add-ons and for the sale. No add-on contributions will be billed, so we try to collect all of those that day. All right. This organization collects thousands of dollars from around our county. It's Friends of 4-H and FFA. They're there to support kids that don't have the support. Don't rely on Friends of 4-H and FFA. Some years they collect a lot of money. Some years they buy a lot and don't have any money left. And so we just want to make sure we don't rely on them. That's a group of citizens and supporters of our fair that come together every year to collect money from businesses. And they'll just collect, and they try to help those kids out that just really doesn't have that support. So don't rely on them to buy your animals. And I can tell you they're not going to buy the top dollar animals. They're going to have a limit on what they're going to bid on steers, goats, and pigs, just to help out the kids. And that is Richard Fiegel from Archer. He runs our Friends of 4-H and FFA. So recruiting a buyer, writing letters is a great way. However, all these buyers gets hundreds of letters every year, okay? So letters is a first contact. Your best one is you need to go visit them. You can write them by hand, you can type them. My son can't write very well sometimes, so he wrote them for years. I made him write them until he got high school age, and now he types them. But when he was elementary, middle school, he hand wrote every one of his letters, and I know it was hard to read, but you know, it was the thought that counted. And I think from young kids, that's that thought, that touch that helps on handwriting a letter to a buyer. when you get up, high school, everybody uses computers now, and I'm sure you'll do them on computer. You'll do fancy letters or pictures or whatever. So what should you include? You should include, of course, your name, introduce yourself, who you are, what club you belong to, how many years you've been doing it. Fair schedule is in the front of the rule books. Copy that, put it in your buyer's letter so they know what's going on. Give them the website. Talk a little bit about what you need to break even. So especially when you go in and talk to the buyer, they may say, well, what are you looking for? Well, tell them that you've got a pig that cost you $250 and I've put $300 worth of feed in it and some other expenses, so I need about $2 a pound on my pig to break even. Just ballpark. Just know that when you go in there so they have an idea. So don't go in there and say, I want $10,000. What do you plan on doing with the money? Don't go in there and tell them you're going to buy a truck or whatever else kids are into these days. Be nice to tell them you're going to save it for your 4-H project or FFA project next year or for college, okay? And thank them in advance. If you're grouping buyers, which is fine, which I talked about, you can bring that stack of checks and put them under Friends of Susie Q. Just remember to try to contact a new buyer, and I believe seniors have to contact one new buyer in the record book. So in the record book, you have to put a copy of your letter, who you contacted, and the new buyer's got a form in there. Okay, so when you go see that new buyer, they'll sign off on it so that we know you seniors, that's 9th grade and up, have contacted at least one new buyer in the record book. Okay, we talked about that. When you go to meet the buyer, make an appointment, don't just walk in there cold. Call them, set up an appointment with those buyers, that banker, that insurance agent, whoever it is, so they know you're coming. It's nice to wear your official dress, 4-H or FFA, and nice to take your record book if it's done. If not, take some other things, like some pictures. Relax, be personal with them. Talk about your pig, that's what they want to know. Talk about your goat, and then always thank them. Always thank them. You cannot thank them enough. Thank them for taking time. Wouldn't hurt to thank them, write them a little note for meeting with you that day. Okay? And then be courteous and thank them for their time and tell them you'll see them at the fair. After the sale, you've got your buyer. You're bought, you're sold. You have to write a thank you note, and that has to be presented to Lori, the treasurer. You can email it to her, you can take a picture of it, email it to her. You will collect them at, what's that first, oh, not at the awards, at carcass meeting, thank you. Carcass meeting, we'll collect them, we can take copies then, but you will not get paid until Lori and the Fair Board sees a copy of your thank you note. You will not get paid till all your buyers have paid as well. That includes add-ons, buyers, everybody. So, what is the rule? 45 days. 45 days, okay. Plaques and pictures are nice for buyers. If you walk in Sonny's and some business around here, Archer Automotive, Rochester County Feed and Seed, you'll see pictures. Who? Conestoga. Oh yeah, Conestoga's a good one because he's got them up there all on his wall. You'll see pictures. That's nice. You'll get a buyer's picture. Yes, you'll get two buyers. You'll get two pictures. One picture.
They can print out what they
You can print out what you want. That's right. Actually, from year to year. So after the sale, you'll be able to print your buyer's picture. Please do that. Last year we had complaints because buyers said, I never got a picture. And there's some buyers that they want that picture more than anything else put up in their business. So there'll be a pretty picture of your buyer and the child and the animal. Make sure you get them that. Make sure you get a thank you note to the Fair Board. Here's the rule now. Thank you letters must be received by the treasurer within 45 days after the sale, or there'll be a $50 fine if thank you letters are not received within 45 days after sale. So 45 days gives you plenty of time. After the sale, she will post all the buyers and their addresses to the website, I would say within 2 weeks after, a week and a half after the fair. Maybe a week. Last year was pretty quick. She had all the buyers posted. So you just keep checking that website and she'll have your buyer's address and everything posted. So there's no excuse for not writing thank you note. Ignore that first website, although you can go there and click on Youth Fair and it's going to take you to that one. That's our new website. Schedule's there and important dates. Sorry, Lori didn't fix that for me. John's already told us it's February 29th, Saturday, February 29th. Last Saturday in February, 8 until is our setup, and we have a donation lunch. I think. Donation lunch? Okay, I have printed off these brochures. This is just a brochure if you want to take with you to meet buyers. Gives you an example in there of how that animal's going to be sold. If they want a custom kill, if they're going to resell it. Basically, if they resell it, those animals have already been sold, remember? That's just a tax deductible donation. They don't get the meat, they don't get anything. And a lot of buyers do that. That's just saying here, we appreciate your hard work. And so if y'all want to take a few of those and pass them around. Any other questions?
How much confusion was last year with the change?
Not much. Not much.
How much
How
confusion?
many, like, big time returning buyers were grumbling about the change?
One.
Okay.
And he bought.
Yeah.
And he didn't
I
say
mean,
anything
he
else.
still bought.
He still bought.
Yeah.
So what he's talking about a change. If that animal goes through the sale arena and that buyer bids $2 a pound, he pays $2 a pound for that pig, goat, or steer. Okay. That resale price is what John Willis or Billy Nettles or whoever buys them ahead of time. That's the price they pay. The kid gets both. Okay. So the buyer doesn't get it. Used to, we deduct that resale from the buyer, and then they'd come out there and say, well, you've already got them sold. And I paid. Nope, this year it was clean. Any other auction you go to, you bid $100, you pay $100. So that's
The only but to that is if
the
he
but.
gets it for custom kills and he pays that again.
Well, he's gonna pay plus the carcass.
He got to buy the carcass in.
He's paying for the meat.
And we
not
did
for the
not
sale.
have any
Okay.
complaints that I remember.
Well, they've always had to do that.
Yeah, they have.
So they pay for the carcass.
Right.
Because they're getting the meat. The other thing is that buyer cannot deduct from his taxes the meat either. Lori will send him, those went out, we got ours about a month ago. Those sheets went out for your taxes. And if you got a custom kill, you cannot deduct that meat because you got it in your freezer. But above and beyond the meat, you can deduct. I know that's clear as mud. Any other questions?
Now that you've totally confused.
Well, Chad brought it up, so we blame Chad.
You got new buyers and won't be confused.
Yes, Jeremy.
I just want, there it is.
Oh, okay, yes.
Hey everybody,
Chloe.
I'm seeing some new faces. I'm Chloe Markham, so I'm one of the fair's ambassadors this year. There's two other girls, Carson Willis and Jincy. So we are really just here to help you guys out, and mainly you kids. We'll be in the barns with y'all because we all show. If you see us and you need something, you have a question, and you can't find one of these lovely fair board members, we're the people to come ask. We'll generally be wearing our ambassador shirts, so we're very recognizable. Just grab us. We'll be happy to help you guys. We put on an event last year called Barnyard Olympics, which went really well. We're helping to do that again, so we hope you guys all come out and participate in that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, if you guys have any questions throughout the year too, just get in contact with me. If you have anything showmanship-wise, things like that, things you might not want to bother them with, we'd be great people to help with that. So if you guys have any questions, there for that. So nice to meet y'all.
We're through now. Thank you all.